Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and this is a bit of an odd one really. I'm going to talk about why I can't part with my original 3DS. I've got a huge collection of DS and 3DS consoles. I've owned DS Lites for years, then I went over to a PSP and a Vita, but the Vita was so expensive to buy for that it was out of my price bracket. I'd got a console, I'd got a few games, but buying any games for the Vita was so expensive that I just didn't bother. And I picked up a cheap 3DS and I suddenly stopped playing my Vita, and then I sold it. The 3DS sort of reignited my love of the DS platform, and it gave me my first experience of 3DS games. It gave me the buzz to start this channel, but I don't play it anymore. I bought a new 2DS XL, and then I bought a new 3DS XL, and it's an absolutely fantastic console, and my 3DS sits on a shelf gathering dust with my DS Lites, which I don't play either. And sometimes I do sell off some of my consoles, so I sold off the new 2DS XL because I didn't really like it and I knew I wasn't going to play it much, and it was worth quite a bit. But I cannot bring myself to part with my original 3DS. I bought it, and like I said, it's reignited my passion for the DS range, and it's my first 3DS experience. It came with a very scratched bottom screen, which I ended up replacing. It's just a lovely console, and normally if I have a console that sits on my shelf for longer than sort of 3 months that I don't play, I obviously don't need it, so it gets sold off. Those funds can be put into some 3DS games or DS games or maybe a different console, but I cannot do it. I can't part with my 3DS. It just sits on the shelf unloved, unused, but never unappreciated. And it sounds really stupid, it probably sounds a bit sad really, but I do get some sort of physical attachment to certain consoles for certain reasons. My first DS Lite, absolutely loved it. It became a part of me. Same with my first 3DS. So even though it's never going to get used again or kept there as a backup because my new 3DS XL breaks, I still have a console capable of 3DS games. That is some of the reason I've kept it. But in all the time that I've had DS consoles, I've never needed a spare. Nothing's ever broken. They're sturdy, reliable consoles. So this thing is going to get put back on its shelf, unloved, but it might come out one day. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.